Good evening, world. This is Matthew here with thequestioningcenter.com. And today I'm out here in a place I've been to in my last couple videos. The video was called "My Vote Will Not Be Complicit in Genocide." Now, this is the location I was at. It's just that I'm not near the rocks or boulders. I'm actually in the nature area. So, I'm here during the, midday, about 5 p.m. The sun is getting ready to set. Weather's cooling down. Of this area, looks like a suburban nature trail. Nothing too backwoods or too far from my home. So today, it is a full moon as of yesterday. It peaked yesterday at October 17th, which was my mom's birthday. So there was an actual, full moon last night. You could see it in the morning too. Yesterday morning, you could see it, obviously, because it's the biggest thing in the sky that's, illuminated. And, I'm here, I'm reading on here. Let's see, Lake Plain Forest. You all might already know where I'm at if you're in this area. But, they have, red foxes around here somewhere. I've never seen one in person, funnily enough. We got the jack in the pulpit. Looks like a carnivorous plant. We have skunks, trillium. You have a downy woodpecker, a red-tailed hawk. Ooh, there's a great horned owl. So owls used to be my favorite type of bird. I used to, love looking at owls and things like that. And of course, you have the white-tailed deer, the unsuspecting prey to the wolfman. And, a couple videos so far, but, I sound nasally because, it's cold season, sick season. So, I'm not sounding 100% like I want to, My nasally nose is gonna make me sound like a nerd talking to the phone in the forest area. But, I haven't seen any animals besides chipmunks so far. As it is October 18th, 2024. Let's see. Hibernation season begins for bigger mammals. Okay, I see a black squirrel to the left. And, hibernation begins for amphibians and lizards. And, oh, okay, I see a family of white-tailed deer. That's great to see. I don't know if I can zoom in on this mode, really. Okay, at least one of them spotted me. But, yeah, I can't really zoom in. They're in the direction of the sun. Let's see. But, yeah, about, let's say, 200 feet in front of me, you have a small set of 3 white-tailed deer in this nature area. It's a good sign. That means the population is doing fine. They're not being hunted in this area. But, today, it's not really about the full moon that I want to talk about, or white-tailed deer, the prey of the wolfman. But I do want to talk about missing 411. So I made one video on missing 411 in regards to my aunt, who went missing a couple months ago in a city. So this wasn't a rural area where she was missing at. She was last known to be seen in a hotel. So that's what gets me, is that it seems like human trafficking at a certain level was done to my aunt, and I'm still looking for her, spiritually, physically. And I'm texting her occasionally to see if she'll reply, but as she, if you're missing, you're not going to reply. So, still hard to see the deer because they camouflage. But I'm within 50 feet of these deer. You know, got a big. Okay, you can see them galloping away. How majestical. And then about 100 feet in front of me, you got some more hikers, you know, doing what they want to do. Yeah, missing 411 is really a interesting topic for me, because I could be the next person that's missing. I could go miss. Anyone can go missing if you're alone, if you're, you know, in a rural area, or if you're just, you know, in the city all alone in a hotel like my poor aunt was. As a woman, you know, it's harder to defend yourself when you're alone. So I just wanted to say, like, in regards to missing 411, I have some clues of where me, Matthew J. Williamson, may end up if I am, you know, abducted or captured. I'd say I'm gonna use the word captured, because abducting me is not gonna happen, you know. It's not gonna happen to me. Knock on wood, literally. Knock on wood, it's not gonna happen to me. But instead, like an abduct or capturing, I mean, that's what I'd call it if it ever happened. Being captured, it'll be obvious because I'm gonna be social on my personal Instagram page, my business website, my business Facebook, Instagram, even TikTok. You know, I'm not as active on TikTok as I am maybe on YouTube, but at the same time, you know, if I go missing, I won't post for 1 month. You'd know off the bat that I'm, you know, abducted or gone missing somewhere, because I've been abducted by a list of things that I will you know, talk to you about, and I'll list them in order too. So number one, it would be the deep state government agencies that are non-listed in the database as an agency. So this is a step above an alphabet agency. If you don't know, an alphabet agency is a government 3-letter agency, like you might hear about the FBI. You also have the TSA or the CIA, and these are alphabet agencies that do some kind of, you know, small microcosm of the government. So they might, you know, want to track someone like the FBI and have a file on them, or you might want to be a part of the DOD, which would be a, you know, alphabet agency that is a Department of Defense, which is very big, and the largest funded government agency that we have is the Department of Defense, because they get billions of dollars each year to do whatever they do. So yeah, number one would be deep state, unidentified. One moment. Okay, I'm back. I let a hiker walk by. But yeah, as of right now, I can still see the white-tailed deer about 45 feet in front of me. And I'm going to do a tripod mode right now because there's no people really in front of me. So, yeah, let's keep talking about missing 411, cryptid related, for the questioningcenter.com. So, yeah, number one would be the deep state. So the deep state is beyond the, you know, the Democrats, Republicans. They're not a part of any agency. They're actually a branch off of like the DOD or the CIA. So these agents, what they do is they break off funds from the taxpayers. They get money from the largest funded group, which is DOD, Department of Defense. And then they go away and then they study like alien technology. Like, you know, I'd assume after the 1940s when they discovered like flying saucers and alien technology, they broke off into like a separate category of government so they remain, in the black ops, special ops, you know, classified information. So no one in a regular government is going to say, "Oh, we know about this technology," or "We know about this cryptid existing," because at the end of the day, the more secretive the government is, the more secure they feel, and they feel like the security is the privacy of everything they do. So that's why number one would be the deep state, unclassified, what I would call men in black. So these men in black, they might be aliens in disguise, or they might be the deep state with their own programs that they use to dissuade journalists and researchers, and for alien technology or cryptids such as the Michigan Dogman. So there's that fact of life that I've come to realize after all the research I've done since I was 9 years old. Sorry, I'm still sniffly. But yeah, I've been researching on YouTube about, paranormal, leaked videos since I was, 7 to 9 years old. That's when I first started. Of course, I've heard about, UFOs in Chicago from my mom, before that age. But yeah, number one would be the deep state. And a close number two would be the alphabet agencies, as I mentioned earlier. So the alphabet agencies, that includes the CIA, because they will track someone down that's a international terrorist in domestic land, and then, they come to their own sense of justice after they make a file on you. So if they make a file in the questioning center, they're gonna call me a crazy cryptid researcher that works alone mostly. But that's not exactly who I am. I'm a little bit more than that. I'm a little bit, I'd say I'm more individualized. Like, I'm not just researching cryptids per se. I'm also, giving information on different types of energy that exist out here. So this channel is not just about, oh, let's talk about fairy tales from hundreds of centuries ago, or even, thousands of years ago, religions that might be discussed on this page. But no, these alphabet agencies, they're gonna try to make whoever they want to take out and capture seem crazy or suicidal. I am not suicidal. So I'm saying this once and for all, I am not suicidal. I enjoy life. I love searching for cryptids. I love playing video games. I love reading books. I love, being out in nature. I love, modeling. Modeling is my lifestyle. Look at my outfit. Like, I try to model sometimes. I try to make a professional career if I can't find cryptids. But I digress. I'm going on a tangent. But, yeah. Oh, yes. More hikers coming. Let me pause it for a minute. Okay, I'm back now, and now we can talk about the third group of, assailants or capturers of the questioning center. And I'd have to say the police are, within the top 3, top 4 of those. So, yeah, like, one bad cop can ruin a whole precinct of cops, trying to do the right thing. And if you learn anything from the 2020 Black Lives Matter protests, there's always going to be a bad apple that takes the violence too far, and then they use excessive force on minorities that, raise the escalation of the problem. So they might call the police just to check on a home invader, and they end up in your the police end up in your kitchen and they shoot you. Like, I don't want to say the name wrong, but there's been so many cases about that it's just becoming like, a Twilight Zone episode, like Get Out for black people, minorities included, poor people, anyone that's, disenfranchised, really. So yeah, the police will be number 3. And number 4 and number 5, I can say it pretty much together. I'd say that, like, a rogue person committing a crime and an urban person committing a crime. Could be someone that captures me and, stops the research of the questioning center. So if I'm in a rural area, there's more racist people there. There's people that think that Michigan is a red state, even though, we're part of the group of, the Union that defeated the Confederacy, nearly 200 years ago. And, if someone stops me in an urban setting, they're most likely committing a crime like robbery. So I've named 5 or 4 of this of the missing 411 suspects. Now let's get into the freaky paranormal stuff that I know y'all like. Let me do a squat for this. So I'd say that the next assailants after the deep state, after the alphabet agencies, after the police corruption, after, rural and urban people committing crimes, it's going to be number 6, which will be cryptids. We're going to say number 6. Yes, number 6 out of this entire list will be some type of cryptid, like a Bigfoot or a werewolf creature. Essentially doing foul play and then, either, abducting me into a mysterious Middle Earth underworld place, or possibly, just eating me like a snack. So like, I'd imagine like a wolf man might want to eat something, warm-blooded that, they haven't had in a while. So that's probably why I'd go missing. Number 6 would be like cryptids. If they exist or not, we know humans exist. We know humans do crimes. So if number 6 is real, it's possible that they did, they did capture and, they made me go missing 411. And that includes aliens too. So number 6 will be, aliens abducting me, literally. That's a crazy thought, but anything's possible. And I'm thinking of number 7 right now would be, I'd have to get back on that, because I do have a list, and I'll rephrase it once I review it, and I'll be right back. Alrighty. So I'm back now, and I reviewed my notes, and I figured out of the 6 or 7 capturers or missing 411 suspects, number 7 is going to be teleportation. So yes, we're still talking about paranormal things. We're talking about a teleporter, a wormhole, some type of technology or energy force field that would teleport a physical being like me into another place that we don't even know exists yet, because we haven't confirmed teleporters exist. And now to close this video off, I want to talk about the full moon that's occurring as we speak. So as you should know, a full moon, that's the peak amount of energy you can get during the month to manifest in the physical world. So of course we're living in a third dimension. So whatever you do happens in the third dimension, and the full moon will amplify that type of energy for our work. As opposed to a new moon, which is more internalized for a mental, spiritual journey on the inside. So there's different aspects to, drawing upon energies. And I wanted to leave this video with that in mind, just to keep the questioning center on your mind as you do your research on your own, or enjoy this series as an entertainment. As always, like, share, and subscribe. I'm not necessarily a YouTuber, I'm a journalist, and everything I said in this video, including the part where I say I'm not suicidal, is all true, because once the villains start to show themselves, they're gonna do the crimes that the truth isn't gonna like, and I follow the truth as my religion. Take care and have a blessed one.